Well, now it's my chance to introduce Dr. McLean. Now, obviously, he needs no introduction. Everyone has probably said enough, and he's a very humble man, so he's probably heard enough. But I'm going to say a few more words about Dr. McLean. First of all, I came here, became president about 4 years ago. And one thing that I believe in is that it's wise to look to those who went before you and those who had success, and to learn from them, and go, and if they are gracious enough, to ask them questions. And I can say personally that Dr. McLean has been so gracious with his time and his willingness to help me. I look forward to my opportunities to go down to Columbia and have the periodic lunch, phone conversation, email exchange with Dr. McLean. And I can assure you that he still is passionate about this place, but also about his calling in life, and that is a commitment to excellence in education. He believes it's the bedrock of our democracy to have an educated citizenry. And he's committed his life to it, and he cares as much about it today as he did when he was president. You saw this in your handout. These just are some of the accolades we've recently received here at Truman. Maybe some people noticed in USA Today and on the Today Show recently about us being ranked number 9 in the country by Princeton Review as best value in public higher education. You might have also noticed that we were ranked 12th in the country from Kiplinger's list of 100 best values in public colleges. Also, Washington Monthly ranked us number 3 in the country for institutions that serve the public purpose. And of course, as Judge Russell mentioned, for 17 years in a row, we have been ranked number 1 in the Midwest by the U.S. News and World Report, as well as also being recognized for our strong commitment to teaching and great schools at great prices, among other things. It is my belief, I am a historian, so I'm going to go ahead and try to wear that hat just for a moment, and Dr. Nichols is here with us, and he actually wrote the book, so I think he would agree with us, is that the establishment of the Pershing Scholarship in many respects was the first domino to fall that helped this university become what it is today. Now, I know there were many other factors and commitment to many other things that helped this university achieve what it has achieved and what it has become for the state of Missouri. But it's my belief that the establishment of the Pershing Scholarship was that first step in this amazing road. I want to give you a sense, Pershings, of how competitive it is now to become a Pershing Scholar. So the first step in the process is to narrow down the applicants. And we try to narrow it down some way, so we look at those who score at the 95th percentile, the ACT, and have, if not flawless, nearly flawless high school academic record. Do you want to know what that gets us down to when we do that? Between 700 and 900 applicants. So we have to go from there. So you're already dealing with the best of the best. And our admission staff and those who are involved work hard to now start trying to separate those 700 to 900 amazing students. They start looking, okay, what else have they done? They've got their 4.2 high school GPA. They're valedictorian, and they scored a 34 on the ACT. What makes them special besides just their academic interests? So they start looking at their extracurricular activities. We begin looking to see the well-rounded individual, someone who's committed to something larger than themselves. And through that process, we narrow it down to about 200. And then it goes on to a point where we finally get it down to about 90 or 100 finalists to come here for these rigorous interviews. And from that, the very best of the best get invited to be Pershings. Maybe some of the Pershings who were Pershings back in the 70s are having that moment that I have, you know, sometimes like I could never become a Pershing now, right? That's what this place has become, and that's how competitive it is. But what's exciting to me about the introduction of the Pershing to Truman is that we haven't lost the essence of who we are, back even when we were Northeast Missouri State University. And what I mean by that, I think what makes this place special is what Andrew talked about. The relationships, the caring, the strong sense of community that we have. And I just want to read the conclusion of a very nice email that one of our Pershing interviewees, we just went through these a couple weeks ago, wrote to Melody Chambers after his experience on campus. And it was a wonderful, I'm not going to read the whole thing, it's a wonderful email, but at the end of it he says, "I hope Truman always remains as it is. In a world driven by progress and competition, it is encouraging to learn of a campus filled with sharp individuals who are humble and self-sacrificing. Although the excellent academics and the praised value contribute to Truman's appeal, what really attracts me to it is that I know it is a place I will be loved." In many respects, that says it all. So, now to Dr. McClain. I thought Judge Russell did such a nice job with the bio that I don't need to go through all that again, but I did want to make one other note that Dr. McClain is one of only 100 Missourians who has actually become a part of the Missouri Academy of Squires. And this happened, I believe, back in 2004. And why I make note of this is that this is a list of 100 Missourians who have made extraordinary contributions to the state. And if I'm not mistaken, in the room with us today is not only one squire, but 3. Judge Russell, are you not a squire? I thought so. And Dr. Magruder, you're a squire. Any other squires in the room? Judge Covington, we have 4 squires, 4 out of 100. This is amazing. Judge Covington, also a squire. Wow. I might become a part of the Missouri Academy of Squirrels, but this is really remarkable. After he left Truman, his career did not end there. He became the commissioner of the Department of Higher Education, among other things, and even, if I'm not mistaken, back in 2008, assumed another presidency at Fairmont State University in West Virginia. I am humbled to introduce to you the reason for being here today, to honor Dr. McClain.
This is really rather embarrassing to hear all this stuff. As you know, no one individual really ever makes a whole lot of difference in the world. It's a team effort, and there are so many of the persons here today who worked with me. I'm really sad that I can't take the time to introduce each one and give the kind of credit that really is deserved. You made the difference. You kept me propped when I needed to be propped, and so I'm indebted to you. I might just tell you a quick story, which is true, but or the rest of them were true too. But, when Judge Reinhardt was interviewing me, along with the rest of the board, whose names I don't remember, that's a joke, but those of you who don't know Judge Reinhardt know that he has a rather strong personality. He said, what's your vision for the school? And I said, well, my vision would be that we attract good students, high-quality students, and a high-quality faculty. He said, how do you do that? And I don't know what I said about the students, but probably not the Pershing at that point. I didn't know Pershing was a graduate then. But I said, well, one of the things I'll do is interview every faculty member employed. And he said, oh, no, you can't do that. I said, you're coming from a smaller college and you can do that kind of thing. But in almost 20 years here, I interviewed every faculty member employed except one, and that was when I was away for a funeral. So I hope that made a statement that I thought that really administrators are not very important, but faculty are, and students are. So I wish to thank President Pano and all your staff for what you've done today. I thank all of you who took the time to attend. One of the things that someone told me whenever the Pershing was started, they said, the students won't be grateful. They'll just take it for granted. And I wish they were here today. Some of those critics that were critical of the Pershing Scholarship because of its nature of support. You've really, really made a difference. I treasure a lot of the comments that you wrote in on the web. In fact, in a weak moment, I might even believe some of them. Thank you, Chief Justice Russell and Rhodes Scholar Andrew McCall. I know you may not want to be called a Rhodes Scholar, but you are, so you just have to bear that burden. You and Bill Clinton. I would like to recognize Dr. Dagger and Dr. Magruder. They were loyal persons on the faculty and the administrative staff, and then later presidents, and always gave me lots of support. President Pano, of course, has really outdone me with his tricycle riding. I want you to know, though, it wasn't all dull. We just didn't have videos. It was the fall of, I don't remember what year it was, but it doesn't make a difference. But as a part of homecoming, we had a mechanical bull. Was anyone here when you were here? And it was sitting out in the out here between this building and the AH building, or whatever it is now. And so I heard all this noise, and I'm out my window, and I thought, what in the world? All these students were yelling and clamoring, and so naturally, it was a beautiful fall day. I walked out of my office. And of course, the minute I walked out of my office, the applause began to get louder and louder. Okay, McLean, ride the bull. So I did. But there was no video. So that achievement just lost forever. I want to thank those early Pershing scholars particularly for taking a chance in a way, because you had many, many opportunities to go other places, other schools, but you had the courage to believe that we might be a decent choice. And you did choose us. And you've made really the difference. The first thing I thought when I saw the Princeton Review article showing that we were 9th out of 10 as best value schools, and I don't think this is on your propaganda out there, but these are the schools. University of North Carolina, Chapel Hill, number 1, New College of Florida, number 2, University of Virginia, number 3, North Carolina State, University of Michigan, University of California, University of Florida, the College of William and Mary. Tom Trout will tell you that we emulated a lot of that in the mission change, except William and Mary doesn't actually have a law. They're just a liberal arts university, but without the law. But we do have the Phi Beta Kappa chapter, Dr. Magruder. Thank you. Truman State, 9, and the State University of Binghamton. So it's a pretty august group. And I was amused at the YouTube video which showed the Princeton person on the Today Show, and that's in your material, and he said, they sort of call it the Harvard of the Midwest. So I like that. Well, I don't have a lot of new speech material, so I'll share the story that I've told a lot of times, but I always liked it. And New Hampshire was trying to take away the charter of Dartmouth College, and it got into a legal issue. And the trustees of Dartmouth hired Daniel Webster, who happened to be an alumnus of Dartmouth, who would later become senator, as you know. And Webster's speech apparently moved Chief Justice John Marshall to rule favorably that the charter would hold and Dartmouth would not become a state university. And Webster said, in closing, "It is a small college, and yet there are those who love it." And I'm one of those who love Truman, and I always shall. Thank you, Pershings, for being here.
Thank you, Dr. McLean. My closing remarks are very brief. Thank you for being here. As we promised earlier, people were out there socializing, making connections, getting to catch up with old friends. And what used to be the Quiet Lounge that we now call the Hub is available for people to remain and stay as long as you would like, socializing and catching up. Thank you for making the effort to be here for this very special occasion. Please travel safely back home. Thank you.